Oh, I zoom in. Do I need to line this up a little bit? There we go. Let's get it all nice and centered. I was fiddling with my setup for some other stuff, so it's a little bit off. That's my excuse for why my hair's messed up too. Anyway, hey everybody, welcome. 3 weeks in a row. Robert, good to see you in chat. I saw that. Let me go post over here. I'll do one last post unless somebody has already beat me to it. No. Okay, great. All right. Post a message there. Put a message already on Twitter. Okay, great. That should do it. So, wait, did it go in the? Yeah, it went in the main channel. Okay, so Slack, Twitter. Dank, welcome. Robert, good again. Good to see y'all. Okay, you don't need to look at my face. That's not why everybody's here. Seg break, welcome. So we have a lot of things on the. Okay, so I need to make some notes. So I was working on a different list here. Let's see what we got. All right, so here are our topics for the week. This font is the worst. Hold on. Preferences. Is this theme better? This theme is better. I like that better. Okay. I don't need a number. Look, they're already numbered line numbers. Okay, so number one, find the error. Oh, this font is interesting. So used to fix with font. So we're gonna see who can identify the mistake I made. I'm gonna show you, and I messed up on stream a couple weeks ago, so we'll see if y'all can catch me this time. Number two is where'd it go? I had it. Okay. We're gonna do, oh yeah, we're also gonna do some convert the sample plugin to work with GitHub CI Actions or whatever. So that'll be interesting. I'll talk about that if you're a plugin author. That should be really neat. I still gotta figure out how I'm gonna like do it from an account which doesn't have access. Anyway, we'll figure that out. We're gonna review recent plugins. We're gonna check out install because I've been tweeting once a week about the about new plugins, and I want to like actually go and try some of them and show off the plugins I've been talking about, check them out. I realized I should have been doing that on stream. What else we got? We were gonna do, look at my list. Oh, right, malware downloader. There's another one. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's our list so far. All right, I got everything. And then this, related to this one is sponsorships. So if you have written a Binary Ninja plugin and you want any kind of automated CI like regression testing as a part of your plugin release process. Also, my volume feels a little low. I'm gonna bump that up. Let me know how that sounds. Anybody who has a plugin and wants some CI, we have this system that I'm going to test. In fact, I'm gonna probably build it on stream. Like we've kind of got pieces of it, but we haven't actually tested it yet. So we'll do it live. We'll see how it goes. That we are offering to plugin authors, like you can get a free license just for that, right? So it's a dedicated headless license. I'll talk about it a little bit later. So let's go look at the error. First, I'm going to show you what I did wrong. I was talking about, actually, let's just do it in a terminal. So if I was trying to load, let's see, I think I even had the file here, ls broken, right? Exactly. So let's import binary ninja, and then if I was doing bv is equal to binary ninja, I tried load, I tried open view, and I did like, if I do a full file that has like actual, it's like a real L for Mach or PE, right? It works. And obviously I'm triggering analysis, and I've got binary view, and I've got functions, and I can do stuff. Okay. I thought the APIs were broken for like binary views. Like you couldn't just easily do this via headless if it was like a raw view. And so the reason I thought that is because I did this. I said binary 2 ninja.load, and I remember I copied. So what I did was I like did a dd. I did this, right? So I basically copied. That's less helpful when it line wraps, whatever. I did dd, and I skipped the first byte of the file. Right, so we just skipped the first byte of the binls, which means it's no longer a valid elf because it doesn't have that 7f like byte right at the beginning, right? It goes 7f and then elf. And so it just started right into elf. So if I do like xxd ls broken head, we strip that off. But if we do binls, we got the 7f byte right there, right? So it's not a valid elf. So I wanted to open ls-broken, and no, it wasn't working, right? So this is the audience participation time. We'll see how many people can figure this out. I was like filing bugs, I was testing, I was having like, I couldn't figure it out. Like, you know, I make notes when I find, which reminds me, normally I make notes. Where's my notebook? I'll have to go grab that in a second. I have one sticky note. I can use that if I write tiny. So let's see. I know there's at least 3 of you in chat. Three so far. So how many? I should actually pull up the stream just to see if we got some other lurkers. So if anybody Anybody wants to figure out why I made a mistake? The API works fine. You can absolutely open files that are not normal binary views, and this will 100% work. I should have realized better. So what did I do wrong? I know we got a little bit of stream delay, so maybe I'll go get my notebook. I'll go get my notebook so I have something to write on if I find new bugs. Hopefully they'll be real bugs if they're bugs. And I'm curious if anybody has any guesses why that doesn't work. So let me know. I'll be right back. All right, did we get any answers? Oh, it's quiet. Are people actually watching it? Let's see here. All right, we've got. All right, a couple people watching. No one has figured it out. I will give you a hint. This is broken, but it has nothing to do with the file being changed. So the API is fine. The file is fine. What's the one thing different between this line and this line? Definitely, ping me on Slack. Yeah, we want to make it easy. I thought okay, so there have been some changes on the APIs, and in fact, we actually want to deprecate and simplify and clean them up, but that's not it. Remember, this one works, this one does not. So yes, there were some changes, and we totally need to actually improve. Yes, there we go. Thank you. All right, that little tilde, right? This isn't bash. It's not a shell. Now, if I would have done import glob, and I would have done bb2 is equal to binary ninja dot load glob dot glob ls broken, and then I still would have had to do like 0, right? Like that would have worked. No, is it path? Oh no, path expand. Anyway, I have to do something else. I have to do like path expansion. It's like os.path. Anyway, there's a thing. Or I could have literally just done like, what's my username, v35. Yeah, it was such a foolish little error. I spent like 10 minutes on the stream because I didn't do that, right? And yes, there is an error, and we didn't specify the base load address or architecture and all the other stuff. But like you can see, like it works fine. It analyzes it. So there is actually like a binary ninja bug, which is that error is stupid. The error, like that error, come on, unable to create new binary view. Like, what do you mean unable to create? I'm trying to open up this file. It's like, can't open that file. Exactly, segment. Exactly, right? That's a legit bug. So anyway, we are gonna fix that. We need to improve the error message. But I'm and hey Corey, good to see you as well. Yes, like it's such a, and the funny thing is, we have totally, hey Thomas, welcome. We have absolutely all, like, as binary ninja developers, we've like run into this before. Like, this is not the first time we've been bitten by this. And so Brian internally was like, oh yes, we really should fix that error message. So I was like, oh, I'm such an idiot that I kept getting this wrong. And he's like, no, like we've all done that. Like that's a bad error. So we'll fix the error, we'll make it better. But in the meantime, the good news is it works fine. Actually, I'm curious, does it guess the architecture? It does. That's cool. So in fact, somebody even asked, I think on stream, the API for guessing the architecture. And I don't know, I mean, one way is you literally just open up the file. Hey, Ryan, welcome. No, you're good. We just had a little Q&A with people guessing what my mistake was. And the short summary was, I put a tilde. I put a bash shell expansion character inside of an API path. That's not how APIs work. So that was why I thought all these APIs were broken, and they were not. If I literally would have like done like temp, see, that's good to hear, Shellcromancer. I'm thinking also of doing it every week. I think it's just more consistent. It's easier to know, like, oh yeah, every Friday, Jordan's gonna be streaming. So we'll see if I can keep it up. I'll probably have to bring in more guest people from Vector 35, which honestly will be only better anyways, get some more folks. But glad to hear that. So thank you for that feedback. So yeah, that was that. That was a dumb bug. That was the mistake I made. But like I said, the sort of real actual bug is, we're gonna like properly error open failure, right? Like no such file permission, something along with the file would have been a way better error. But that honestly, it's one of the things I like about the stream, and I don't like to pre-do like exercises or things on stream. Like I don't like to like have a perfectly polished, this is how the Binary Ninja product works or develop. Like in real world, even the people that build the tool make mistakes, and so I think a certain amount of that is like, yeah, that's fine and totally reasonable. Hopefully, if y'all want to see, like, now what I really should do is also do edited versions where I have like the right answers in a really short, concise video for people that want to watch it. They want to watch just like the right answer and not see me fumble through errors. But on that note, okay, so let's look at let's review plugins next, right? Let's actually move this one up. Oops. There. Let's move plugins next, and then we'll work on that. We'll talk about the sponsorships, and then we'll do the malware downloader stuff. But yeah, to a certain extent, part of me wants to like be like, oh, I should do a better job marketing my product. But like, I'd rather people see like the learning process too. If I want to teach people how to build plugins and how to do this stuff, don't get false expectations about, oh man, I don't know what I'm doing because I can't find the API. Well, like Jordan can't either sometimes. Like that's normal. That's instead, I want to teach you how to find them and how I look them up and how I figure out what it is. Even if it takes me 2 weeks to realize, I put a tilde in a file path. So okay. Yeah, it's cool. It works. It opened the file. It guessed the architecture. I didn't specify that. When I was trying before, I was using OpenView, and it does have like the there's OpenView with option. I can specify options, right? Yeah, I can specify that, including the string identifier. So anything I could do in here, like if I do, I put ls broken right here, right? So I'm lazy. Actually that's right. Right here we can see show identifiers. You can do that in this dialog as well too. It's a setting, but oh, the arch was a typo as well. Yeah, I did do that. It was a typo there too, but then I fixed it. I type arc and then I type arch. Oh, you mean in the? Was there another error? ACH. I don't. Oh, right. Well, it was the ARH. This one here. Yeah, this is the one that I typoed the first time. If you mean a different one in the docs, let me know. But I think I caught that and fixed it, or maybe again just stream delay. So yeah, you can turn on the settings here. Loader architecture, for example, is the setting. So if I wanted to specifically open this up, I could have done. Let's do BV3 is equal to that. I could have done options equals, and I could specify. What was the key? Loader architecture is before I forget me end this out is X. I could do like I could instead do x86. I could say I want to open this file and treat it as 32-bit even though it's not. Okay, cool, awesome. Thanks, Thomas. And yes, please catch me out. I love it when people catch stuff because it saves me from like having to come back 2 weeks later and be like, oh yeah, by the way. So happy to be corrected. Options equals, all right. So I could have done this. Did I do it right? Is that how? Oh no, that's right. This is not. I don't want to do this as a string. It's not like a JSON string. It's actually like the dict. Yeah, there we go. So I could have done this and specified the architecture, but you'll notice because I left it off, it just straight up guessed for me. Although I'm gonna get a much more errors this time in analysis because I lied to it and told it to treat it as 32-bit instead of 64. So that's kind of funny. It's gonna, yeah, it's gonna not like me and complain. You notice it actually takes longer to analyze too, because it's finding garbage data, bad functions, like all this other stuff is like wrong. You'll actually take longer to analyze something when you are incorrectly analyzing data as code or as the wrong architecture. That's kind of common, or even just like obfuscated malware. It's one of the downsides. Why you would not just use the default settings, right? Like if I knew I was opening something that was encrypted or obfuscated, I would actually switch over to analysis. I'd turn on disallow branch to string. I would do, where is it? Analysis mode right here. Yeah, I would turn that on to like basic or control flow. I would turn down some of these analysis settings, and then I would, when I found a particular function, you can basically say like analyze this one in more detail. But as an aside, okay, so let's look at our tweets from Vector 35 where I have been doing plugins. I should be able to remember my tweets for the last couple of weeks, but just to make sure. There's the one with sponsorship. We're going to talk about how we are happy to sponsor things. There we go. Obfuscation detection. This was the plugin that we installed, or that we talked about this Monday. So Tim Blazitko, Mr. Fraser, has a cool plugin that we're going to check out. So any thoughts on doing an entropy check on sections before analysis? That's not a bad idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. And like I said, that's not at all unexpected. You can also see the entropy too. The nice thing is if you, let me actually open up like, also hold on, let me see, it's my shell still, I want to make sure I'm not done. Yeah, let's exit this out. I don't want still be using up that. Let's open up that ls broken file. And I don't know it's an elf, but it's just going to guess and create a bunch of bogus functions. So we actually have this entropy map here, which is a pretty nice way to gauge like, oh wow, this looks here like highly entropic data. Is this actually code? Although actually in this case, it might be. Yeah, no, this does look like code. And this like feels like about where normally in LSI state there would be real code. I don't think there should be. Yeah, this looks like real code, right? As analysis completes. But in general, if you go to triage view, it was meant triage summary. It's specifically for like malware analysis. Yeah, like I don't know if that's necessarily a mode or a setting in Binary Ninja, but I think having a workflow where you could make that easier is a great idea. Like you could specifically say exclude. Oh, well, yeah, maybe you could. So if you open something with options, like even if I take like actually let's do this. If I open like I need an actual piece of malware. Oh, right, like this one, sure. So here's a random piece of malware that we were using with Malshare before. Or we were using with our plugin that downloaded from Malshare. MIPS 32? MIPS 64? What? I don't want to do that. No, I want an actual like, is this malware? Where's the meme? There we go. That is actually interesting though. So this is funny because the file format is x86 No, but that's still Linux. I want a PE. That's an ELF. Why am I? Hold on. Give me some malware, Jordan. Let's see. I think I have malware inside of samples, don't I? Give me something with a hash. Oh no, that's right. I wiped this machine a while ago. Let's just go grab. Da, 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 da. I don't remember if I'm logged in still. I don't have my API key here, so I don't think I can download any of these. Yeah, I don't want an ELF. I want a PE file. Maybe I shouldn't worry about this too much, but this is gonna just want the hash API key. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, let me make some notes on better automated like handling of encryption or packing. And even it was just like, do you want to analyze? Yes, no. You could still say yes if it just happened to be highly entropic real code, which is unlikely if it's compiler generated. All right, better automated handling of hacking or encryption. Yeah, you could do pop up. You could do a setting. This actually brings up something we've been thinking about lately, which is, would it be useful to have like not like Clippy, but just like different modes, like that you're specific when you open a file. Binature tries to help you out more and be like, oh, this looks like this. Do you want me to do this? Um, and a setting that will like no and never bug me again. Sure, fine, get out of the way. The like, and not so much like Git or Ada where you like have to like choose a bunch of settings as much as it just tries to like simplify that process for like common workflows, and this is one of them. Yeah, so it does do that for like yeah, certain bad behaviors. It'll actually warn you. I'm comparing this more to like their default open dialog, right, which has a bunch of settings and stuff. And I'm thinking more like their warnings, where like something is wrong. Yeah, that's a good example. Just open up any actually, yeah, here, like let's do this. Let's just go grab, it doesn't have to be a PE. Let's just go grab something else as long as I have UPX installed. Who uses Snap? Who uses Snap? Just give me the app version. I don't want Snap. So samples. Let's copy sure, crackme.upx, as long as crackme um isn't already packed or anything. I don't think it is, but I don't remember exactly. So let's look real quick. Yeah, that looks good. This looks reasonably code-like, right? So I don't see any shenanigans going on there. But now if we just UPX by itself, I believe, will UPX encrypt it, right? Or packet rather. Okay. So let's open samples crackme.upx. Oh, it's half the size before. And yeah, we're gonna watch Pinja just eat itself on this stuff that it shouldn't even be. I didn't want to do that. Elf triage. Yeah. Right. Yeah, and what you really want is so what is here, for example? There's no sections. Yeah, there's only segments. And this, hold on. So what's the end of this segment? Yeah, this is okay. So like that's probably the end. Also, if I wait a minute, I'm trying to tell where my cursor is. So the feature map is kind of nice for this. Oh, okay, there you go. Right, I'm up top. So this is at the very beginning of yeah, we can see this data. So that was, I think that's probably the end of, yeah, this looks like real unpacked stuff. And then this one here is pretty likely garbage, right? Like this just feels like, let's see, hold on, this is a little way down here. Let's go back here. So here's the start. Here's this one. Oh, that's just a bunch of nulls. That's where it's going to unpack it into. I haven't actually looked at UPX in a while. Then this is the synthetics. Okay, so actually, you know what? This wouldn't really help. So Dank, for your suggestion, at least for this particular ELF file, and the version of UPX that I just grabbed from the Ubuntu repo, it looks like it is. Oh, and by the way, what a lovely segue, because I'm going to install this obfuscation detection plugin, because that sure sounds useful. Like we're looking at obfuscated code. In this case, we're looking at packed code. So we're going to give this a try on this little file we just made. So that's fantastic. Right, exactly. So my point is that code that gets unpacked is inside of this. There's no actual sections. Is that right? Are there really no sections in this file? I guess I could like see. Do I have Ghidra installed real quick? I just want a second opinion, right? That'll work. I don't remember if I have Java in this VM or not, so let's find out. Actually, did I already have Ghidra? No, I don't think I have done this yet. Yeah, so the problem is I don't think it's a separate. Yeah, I mean, I totally right, exactly, because it's hollowing and reusing essentially the same like piece of memory. It's maybe not the best example. But there might be a mode that does that. Like it might be. There's a setting that we can. Let's see here. Section. An overlay often contains resource sections, overlay copy. That's kind of annoying. Let's make that wider. All right. Yeah, we'd have to go look at the docs a little bit more. Oh, here we go. Okay, here's on the flags. Compress exports. No. Strip locations. Keep resource list. Alpha those are methods. Segment. Yeah, it doesn't have anything in here about like. Yeah. Broadcast by special PT load segment in the compressed executable itself. Yeah, I don't see actually any settings in here right now, but again, I totally agree with the concept. I was kind of hoping we could though, because that would have been nice. I mean, it's still going to be useful for the obfuscation detection plugin. So let's just take a look at this as a nice segue into that as well. But yeah, so Tim and he's been on the stream before. We actually done an interview with him a while ago. I think it was it over this plugin or was it? I think it was this one, or was it one of those previous? I think it was. When did he release this originally? I think it was this several years ago. Yeah, actually, almost exactly 2 years ago is when he first released it. Oh, that's funny. And then yeah, we got him in the plugin manager. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was about 2 years ago. He was on stream, and he came and kind of talked about this. But he's got a variety of really interesting methods to detect like weird code patterns, whether it's because it's garbage, because it's packed, because it's like VM based obfuscation, right? Where it's like obfuscator and you get a bunch of conditional move instructions in a row or something. So let's see, we've installed the plugin and yeah, we can skip installation. It talks, okay, so he's got several blog posts where he's been implementing these different features and then you use it, you can run it here manually. Detect object, does it have I think it has like the Binja, I think he has some Binja stuff. So let's actually check. Actually, let's go back to the source code. I thought he had some UI stuff to it. Let's look. I always just look at the end. Oh no, there we go. Plugin command. Yeah. So okay, there's a plugin command. Perfect. So oh yeah, all obfuscation detection. So we should just be able to. Oh, you know what? I just realized. I think it might not be showing up in the menu because I haven't restarted. Yeah, and let's close down let's not do that again. Yeah, that file. Okay, so yeah, this is really interesting. Look how few, this is like really interesting how like all these little tiny functions get made because it's just analyzing all this bogus data. And so we're gonna have a bunch of these little stubs of like, this is garbage, this is garbage. These are all garbage functions. You just know they are. It's just something that looks just enough like maybe code that the linear sweep decided to make it code, but it knows the vast majority of this, it's like, no, that can't be real x86 code. Although this down here is interesting. So it's a bunch of strings. Yeah, so they kept the original strings from the, well, no. That's probably just a string table for compressed strings, if I had to guess. Either way, that's why we get a little bit more of a pattern down there. So really, it's this earlier stuff. All right, let's go back and see. Yeah, there we go. Now we've got obfuscation detection. So let's do them one by one. Let's just see if yeah, Tim's everywhere. All right. Uncommon detection. I'm not sure, it'll be probably less useful here because like a packed binary, now that I think about it, a packed binary like is obviously like entropy alone tells you that this is sus, right? Like you know already. You don't need any of that. This is more for like, there's like one function that's got like, some sort of obfuscator thing, or you're trying to, larger innocuous binary, you're trying to find something suspicious. Oh, that's funny. Only the hex portion of the function name gets highlighted in the log view. Or we can just click the address and do the same thing. Yeah, so like these are, but again, these are bogus functions, and we know that. We really only care about like the unpacker portion here at the beginning. Which actually, I think we just saw that if we looked at the where was it? At one point, we were looking at the code for well, I guess probably entry point is a good place to start. Just under start. Yeah, so, oh, that's interesting. This is undefined. Yeah, let's bring this back. Let's split this. Let's give us our disassembly view. Interesting. Invalid structure. Oh, right. So like this is already presumably where the unpacked code is going to go. Is once it's done, it's going to fall right through, if this even returns at all, or if it just doesn't just transfer on its own. Yeah, this is probably not part of this function, but it's something that it's going to fall into after it's done decrypting the function. So this is like, yeah, this is a real function right here, although it's going to be a little opaque. You can't even easily get the syscalls out of here. Oof, this is, wait, are they using, oh, okay, why is it not, oh, okay. The password is infected. This one better not be. This one should just be a crack me. There should be no malware to it. Or must, oh, did somebody send me something? I wasn't looking if there was a where'd it go? Ooh, that's an interesting idea. Yeah, let's see if we see a reference to that undefined byte right here. Yeah. Well, no. I don't think the undefined byte would necessarily have a reference if, right, it's just going to be decrypted and then it's going to be the return of something else. So it's going to be implicit because whenever this function here returns somewhere, or it actually maybe that this is going to fall through. This basic block actually is just going to keep going through it. Yeah, it's just, I wish so the only thing that's weird to me is I don't see why is this not annotating this syscall? Oh, wait a minute. I think I saw this pattern recently. No, that's right. Push one pop racks is full, so I should be able to do something like this. So let's see here. Binary Ninja, why do you not current function dot get reg val? I'm totally getting sidetracked, but I'm also having fun. So I'm just gonna keep playing with this. Or after, there's two API calls. There's after and there's at. Here, just give me that value of racks, right? It should. Why is that not able to track? I thought the push pop paradigm would work. Oh, is there a sample in his script, you mean? I'm not looking at one of his scripts. I just looked at a random file that IUPX packed just for kicks. So we're kind of like actually not doing a good job demonstrating the oh yeah, samples.zip. Yeah, we should actually pull those. So that's a good suggestion though. We should do that. Samples unzip dot binary ninja repositories plugin no repositories community Mr. Fraser, no, is it plugins? Mr. Fraser obfuscation samples, and that is infected. MV samples obfuscation detection samples. That way me doesn't forget it later. Yeah, so I wasn't actually using his samples, which I totally should have been. So thank you for pointing that out, Dank. And so I still am kind of curious, and I kind of want to figure out why we weren't identifying these syscalls automatically. It feels like something that the static data flow absolutely should have. Actually, hold on. Oh, okay. Oh, and by the way, yeah, so here's where that cross-reference is missing. The reason we don't see, Thomas, that cross-reference here, that 2F, is because exactly that right there. That actually is going to contain like this address. So fun fact, because I know this is like the entry stub and it's only called once, I can actually, in medium level IL, I can come here and say, this RDI value that you think is unknown, I know exactly what that value is going to be. I'm actually going to set that user value to a constant value. It's always that. It's the return address. It's the address of the next instruction. So if I do that, aha, there we go. Now we know, now we're able to track the stack. The stack doesn't look all misaligned, and we're getting references here too. So we've got both the string reference. You can see it's referencing the string. Although it's still, I don't know why it's doing this stuff. Like it's still not tracking these variables quite correctly. This feels like it should automatically be able to do it. But yeah, it's using that return address as a, like, this is clearly not compiler code, right? This is hand generated stuff, or like, you know, pseudo compiler generated for UPX's like loader, where they're using that pointer, because you can't get a compiler to misalign the stack that badly without doing something terrible. So yeah, I'm still, yeah, that's why that push pop thing is weird. Yeah, and so just as a note, Robert, that's medium of IL. We'd like to expand this to work more broadly other places, but you just go to medium of IL, you pick the variable that you want, and you can do that set user variable value. And not only can you do constants, but you can do like a bunch of stuff. Like you can say, oh, this is actually going to be a stack frame offset, or it's actually going to be one of these 10 values, or you know, whatever you want it to be, and then all the rest of the data flow analysis will do that. Good suggestion. I totally should. Clip setting the value. Yeah, that's a great little highlight reel. Good call. Anyway, so like we don't need to actually manually reverse engineer UPX. That's probably not a great use of our time, especially when we can probably just go read the source code and figure out exactly what it's doing. Part of me wants to play with this stuff, because like I shouldn't have to tell it this is 2, right? I shouldn't have to do this is 2, because that which will fix this. It's nice. It tells me it's sysopen, and although ironically, our string reference gets turned into, oh, that 2F. That is the force. It's a string right there, right? I want to do, no, I want to not linear. I want to do hex, right? Yeah, that literally is the string right there. So actually what I want is linear. Here's what I can do. So yeah, this is another great little trick, right? In like IDA, what you do is you would say, oh, these bytes are actually not going to be ever executed. These bytes aren't going to, so this is not where it's falling through and decrypted, right? This is literally the start of that string instead. And so there's something else. This function will never return. We know it won't return, because if it did, it would return into a string, and that's bogus. So what I can actually do is I can, like I said, in IDA, you would say this function is actually 1 byte smaller. Whereas in Binary Ninja, instead of like explicitly stating the bounds of a function, like we already track all this stuff. The only reason Binary Ninja gets this wrong is because it doesn't know that this particular function, because it's hard to track because it's not compiler code, it doesn't know that this is never going to return. It's actually going to transfer execution somewhere else, because it doesn't know where that goes. And we could inform it of that later by manually fixing that up. But easier is to just go right here and say edit function properties, and we can be like, actually no, that function cannot return. Please fix that. Ta-da! Now that 2F is no longer part of that function. All right. And so in fact, yeah, let's split this one more time, and let's do this one down here in hex. So you can see, oh, that's right. I think there's a bug where the hex doesn't sync with. I need to make a note of that again. Yeah. I need to hex view sync location. That bit me recently on something else, and it was kind of annoying. I don't like. I want like this should sync to the hex view so that I can easily see then that the next byte is right here. And is this 2f? Oh, which by the way, now because we pulled it out of that function, you notice we actually have a cross reference to it. So ironically, Thomas, we do have a cross reference to it now because of two things. One, because we actually might have even had the cross reference to it even if we just did the first one, right? Where we hard coded that value and we said, look, normally Binary Ninja doesn't do interprocedural data flow because you don't know how many times that function was called. You might not have analyzed and found all the code in this binary. In fact, looking at this, you'd be pretty confident you didn't analyze all the code in the binary. And so you don't necessarily want to assume that it's only called once and therefore the return value must have been that string. But knowing what we know, that it's like some sort of entry point and it's a compressed or packed binary, we would do that. Yeah, it's come along, I think, fairly well. Oh, Thomas, you should see like the latest decompiler improvements are like real good actually. We've been seeing some. Just wait for the next stable release to come out on Dogbolt and just start throwing a bunch of like compiler patterns like switch statements and a bunch of other stuff. It's starting to look really, really good where we're just like outperforming even IDA's recovery for a lot of different compiler things. So still got some things that we're working on, but there's already a number of cases now where we're starting to look even better. So yeah, all right. So now we do have this cross reference, right? So we can actually see we've got not only the initial state where this is the IL that we sort of like hard coded and we're like, yeah, no, this value is equal to this. But now, of course, we see it as this is called too, where it's the argument. And sure enough, now we see it's an open of, proc self exe. So it is going to, and it's going to offset into itself almost certainly. It's going to seek into it. So we can, it's my guess anyway. And this is probably a seek, so this looks like it's setting it to just one. So again, yeah, this shouldn't be required. I shouldn't have to, from here, set the value to one. Like that doesn't feel right. That should just be automatic. But whatever. So yeah, you can see how it's writing. So that's interesting. I didn't know UPX literally just does proc self and writes into its own memory that way. That's kind of cool. Okay, I'm going to stop getting distracted by reversing UPX, and let's actually go open up some of those samples. But that was pretty fun. I thought that was nice. Let's go look at these encrypted samples, and we'll try out Tina's plugin. Oh, we got to look at Emotet, right? That seems like fun. Actually, what's something kind of big? I don't even know what ADYLKUZZ is. But yeah, right? Like this is clearly either a very, oh, this is large. It was a megabyte and a half. There's a section called .8011. Nice. What are the sections and segments? CRT 8011, 8010. Oh, and by the way, this is kind of a fun thing too. So synthetic built-ins, I've talked about it before, but if you haven't heard like the latest of it, this is really nice. The synthetic built-ins it's the thing where basically Binary Ninja will detect something like a stack array or a stack string, and it will represent it as like a mem copy. It's not a real mem copy. In fact, we can just go to it and we can see what ones we've got, right? There's a fake mem copy, and we've got an example right here. So this is a piece of code where there was something assembled, like this is a stack string that's assembled on the stack. And in fact, if we split this to like low level IL, on the other hand, we can see, right, it's pushing these like values. Oh, and even better, that's beautiful, in the middle of a bunch of other stuff. So actually, let's just actually look at this assembly here. You can see there's these pushes. That roar though, I think there's some decryption going on here. Ooh, this is a good example. Hold on. Let me make a note for Brian because I think he should look at this one to make sure that this pattern is doing what he expects. This is ADYLKUZZ. Sample. And this is, well, it's the only mem copy synthetic. usage. But yeah, the synthetic mem copies actually, and let's go actually back because there might be, is there mem sets? Stir copy, stir and copy. Okay. Ooh, stir and copy has one. Has a number of them. Oh, okay. Ooh, are any of these? Yeah, I mean these might be. Hmm. Oh wow. I don't know what that's exactly doing. This doesn't look right. Yeah, no, actually this is I think just straight up not real code, right? You can see you've got bogus bytes here. If you see ins and outs, it's not real code. So this is a false positive essentially on the detection. And the other one might have been too. Let me go back and look at that now. I wonder if I just got overly excited to see some of these, but they're not real. I mean, it's fine that it's detecting it. Out, yeah. This is also not right. I should have looked more closely. F ways. This is very unlikely to be real code. Um, yeah. So this is yeah, this has got some sort of like obfuscation on it. Which hey, that's the point of the plugin. So let's try it. Let's go obfuscation detection. Just have it run it all for me. Thank you, Glenn. I know you caught it. It took me a little longer. It is. I don't think that's even real code. That's bogus data. So I should absolutely not send that sample to Brian because that's not real. It is interesting that it like detects it as a synthetic mem copy, but I don't think it's worth spending a lot of time on. All right, so okay, so most called functions. This actually reminds me of what I did on stream a while ago, where I had like um the like stats, like the table of what did we call it? I forget, tag team or something. It would like tag all the functions with certain properties and like cyclomatic complexity and number of cross references in and out and that kind of stuff. So that's like the most called function. Here's obviously like some sort of like either utility or bogus. Okay, now this one. mm, this one could be real. This looks like assembly though. Like this doesn't look compiler generated to me, but I'd buy this as real. Maybe no. Mm, I mean, like clear direction before remove SB, maybe, right? And then a pop. No, actually, this like yeah, this yeah, this I would say this looks real. I'm curious. What's the consensus in chat? But I'd say that looks like not. That's a real function, just without exactly REing the whole thing. But again, it doesn't feel compiler generated. CBW. I don't. What in the world is that even? See, this is where I go to Lillavale. So what is CBW? It is sign extend a word from AL into AX? Huh. I guess convert byte to word. Okay, I've never seen that instruction before. Today I learned. But yeah, so this feels like, yeah, exactly, Tom. Like that, it like, and even like this sort of like this push FD is mapped by this pop FD inside of like a some sort of like memcopy or yeah, like this is I'm betting that's real. Yeah. Um, and I wonder what's in. Now that's weird though. No, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you move DI and then immediately move? That doesn't make any sense at all. That sequence there, right? But like, yeah. So push FD. Oh, oh. Right. If this is obfuscation, yeah. If this is like the whole point of this is like obfuscated code detection. And so the whole point of the sample is that it is going to be maybe like hand assembly or something where there's a bunch of like garbage instructions kind of inserted in to make it a little bit harder to analyze or harder to signature. You can't do a fingerprint for this. So like this here followed by this, like that's clearly bogus. Like why would you ever just move a constant and then immediately overwrite it with an atomic move in between? Like that pattern makes no sense unless this is just like a garbage instruction that was just inserted in. Yeah, exactly. It's a dead store. Like it doesn't look right, but it still feels like real code overall. So that's kind of my guess. This is also a good example where honestly, like decompilation of a function like this is completely useless. Like this is absolutely garbage, and you are far better off looking at disassembly or maybe low level IO looks pretty good actually. No, it doesn't because of all the flag stuff. Yeah, like push FD, all that stuff. This one's actually just straight up like look at disassembly. You're gonna get better. Yeah, this not is again, it's a dead instruction. Pop FD. Okay, so where did EDI come from before here? Uh, what? What? Move CX, which contained 40. Oh, by the way, though, I will say, Binge's like static data flow is looking real good here, right? Notice that it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, that's 40, because it saw it up here and it knew that none of these operations were impacting ECX. So it actually knows and tells us at this point, it's guaranteed that that like we should even be able to do well. We don't know what EDI was a. Oh, what? Oh, and then we overwrote AX over the DI port. So yeah, never mind. The 40 gets overwritten. What was an AX? We're putting, yeah. Actually, maybe we can ask that. I'm curious. So if we do this, EDI. EDI is the one I want? Yeah, right? Here. Yeah, so I can never remember. This is a good, oh no, this is. It's a zero extend. Yeah, so this absolutely hard codes EDI to just a constant 40. And then after this, though, or after this one, we don't know, right? Because what was X or EX? I don't know. Okay, I'm getting totally sinkholed into this stuff. But yeah, IL flags not so pretty. Our assumptions about flags being used by normal compilers for normal purposes can go out the window with like obfuscate stuff. But let's get back to using the plugin as it's intended. And oh, we did that already. We already ran it. It was actually pretty quick. That was a good like performance test, I feel like too. So you can just see that the total analysis time for this whole plugin was pretty good. Let's actually make our plugin a lot bigger here. Let's see. So flattening score. I assume. Oh, this one looks like garbage though. Unresolved stack usage. This is not code. 100% not code. Right? I would just honestly straight up like undefine this function. Like that's clearly not code. I think yeah, exactly, Thomas. Like that no, the one that we were looking at before, I mean, just to be clear, when I say this one here is not code, right? Like this is obviously garbage. Right? Yeah, like yeah, out again. Like just look for privileged instructions, like, and we know that this is absolutely garbage. There's no way that's real. Um, and so like all these like, yeah, so this function gets a high whatever that control flow flattening score is. Um, but it's a garbage graph. It's not really a super useful. What are these colors though? Oh, I bet his plugin highlights. Let's go actually read the docs now. It doesn't say anything. Hold on, we had to read the blog post, but I bet actually no, let's read this one, uncommon code. Because I bet that it highlights. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. It doesn't say anything about highlighting, but let's just go look. I think this is uncommon detection. Oh no, it's in the okay. Oh, actually, wait, maybe it's in here. Just look for highlights. Or actually, hold on. No, this would be easier, honestly. Yeah, sorry about that, Thomas. I need to figure out how to shorten that timeline there. All right, plugin, no, repository plugins, repository, community, Mr. Fraser, plugins, Mr. Fraser. All right, let's grep highlights. Oh, highlight overlapping instructions. That's actually what's being highlighted. Interesting. So these are literally functions that overlap. Well, in this case, I'm gonna this I think is garbage. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't see anything that like CMSC. C flag. XORed with 1. Or is that X? Yeah, it's XOR, right? Learning about all sorts of new instructions I didn't know about. I don't know. This feels like yeah, like maybe set LE though. I mean, but like yeah, flag calculation stuff. I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, I can't rule this out as real code. And I certainly don't want to analyze it by hand. But that's interesting. Right? Like this, yeah, this looks like not outrageous at all for a control flow graph. And usually like fake code has a lot more dead ends. Like it just dies an invalid instruction, or something weird like that. But like overlapping instructions? Really? We've got like, but no, hold on. Overlapping instructions. No, hold on. That doesn't make any sense. I don't think these are overlap. This can't be overlapping instructions because an overlapping instruction wouldn't be able to be in the middle of other instructions that are aligned and not overlapping without an edge coming in. That basic block should be split. So I don't think I'm fully understanding what that's doing. All right, let's keep going through these. So I'm not sure about the control flow control flow flattening. Cyclomatic complexity, I don't think is a super all that useful measure, honestly. It's fine. Large basic blocks. Let's look at some of these. Oof. I mean, if this is actually real code, I'll be surprised. You know what? This feels like a string to me. Hold on. Or right, not string, like long, yeah, long runs and nulls. A lot of these ads just felt like a lot of nulls. Huh. Yeah, anyone hex. Is it okay? So it is kind of. Oh, I remember. That's what the bug is. The hex sync, it syncs, but it also doesn't show you the cursor, which is what you really want. Yeah, but even if they were overlapping instructions in other basic blocks. No, I guess that's true. Yeah, yeah, it could be the other block had the misaligned instruction that overlapped with that one. That's true. Um, Yeah, I know nothing about this particular piece of malware or how it's packed or encoded, but it's interesting because like that one was like a long string of nulls, which you know what? We didn't look at like entropy map in this one. I'm curious. I mean, yeah, like the whole thing is just packed. Like you don't need a plugin to tell you that when it just has crazy high entropy the whole way through. Um, all right, let's look at a different one. Let's go try a different sample here and see if we get any obvious. Let's go do plug X. That sounds familiar. Which one is plug X? right? Like clearly there's like a encrypted payload or something here at the end, and then there's a bunch of like actual code over here. Why is hold on Triage view? I should be able to click here. What happened? It was working a second ago. Hooray for look at these sweet types. Look at all these lovely, lovely Windows types. So good. So much better. Look at all those types. All right. Enough patting myself on the back there. It wasn't even me. Peter and everybody else that worked on that. All right. So yeah, real code, real code. Lots of contiguous, real full functions. Obviously real code. These are a bunch of like string references. Yep. Yeah. So it's just a bunch of UTF-16 strings. So this that's interesting because this part here looks legit. Like that looks like a real piece of software. Like nothing obviously shady. And then wait, hold on. The zero, did I get it backwards? Did I have it backwards that this is a bunch of nulls? Wait, what just happened? Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, no, what is the, oh, here we go. Yeah, no, this is not nulls. This, well, that section was, but yes. This is, okay, whatever obfuscation mechanism is taking place. Or is this, yeah, I wonder. Yeah, Thomas, on the fly modification like is the bane of all static analysis. Like self-modifying code just in general that like constantly writes itself. Now the good news, it's also hard to build. Oh, WinRAR, that's funny. So honestly, you could like half the time, let's see here. If it's a WinRAR like installer, you can like unrar and then I swear, it's my keyboard. Tell it CD samples, CD obfuscation detection, unrar x copy plug x test.rar. Sometimes like the ones with installers, you can literally just still run the unrar on. Yeah. Okay. Like we didn't need to run any obfuscation. That's how we'd get that one. I guess we'd find that string in there and then just run the unrar tool on it. So let's see though. Okay, so let's look at now we've got a new thing. Look at Jordan pretending to be a malware analyst. He's so cute thinking he knows how malware works. We've got CVT, Nick alt lib. We've got mcs.cvt. What is this? CVT, a COM executable? mcs.exe set to be a P. Okay, let's go open all these up. Was one of them problematic? Um, Not huge. Ninja like hung. Interesting. What? Oh, maybe no. Then multiple file open dialog should totally work. I know you can do it with like triage. Um, yeah, we're gonna kill all. All right, and then we're going to. Is this the right one? Is this latest dev? Yes, it is. Okay, so let's open just mcaltlib.dll. Everyone knows all the real malware analysis people have no hair, right? Hold on. Does this count? Can I be honorary for a day? Do it that way. Okay. I have no idea what this is. Oh, you know what this feels like, Mick Altlib? Hold on. This just feel well here, let's look at triage summary. This feels like is this like one of those like DLLs that are like a signed DLL you use to get permission you get to abuse? Um well no, this references MCS No, this maybe just only slim bald is beautiful. Why does this string stand out? That's interesting. Just a coincidence? False positive? Yeah, it was like a weird GUID or something sitting there. Wait, in relocations? Okay. Um, yeah, so I mean, it's going to call read file, right, on, what? That was a new trick. Hold on. How did I get to do that? Went here and then I went back? Oh, of course I can't do it. Okay. Um, so is this going to read that and that CVT file probably? So like here's the main body of this thing. Oh my goodness, yes, these Windows types infinitely better. I'm gonna try something here. Let me see. Kyle likes high level IL graph view. I'm gonna try it for a little bit. I'm curious. I mean, there's yeah, that was mostly one big chunk that was also looking before, but like I don't know, it can work. Oh yeah. So here we go. String copy. I don't know why we've this. Yeah, there's a structure. Oh, um, yeah, we need to actually apply the structures. Can I hit virtual alloc? I don't think I can hit S on it now and have it pull it out. I mean, I can. I mean, we're getting a big buffer allocated. It's not really a structure though. It's probably just gonna put in, yeah, the bytes to the other file. So file mapping. Oh yeah, I was about to. Thanks, Glenn. I was thinking about that. Yeah, it's a McCaffrey library. So yeah, my guess was this is like a library being abused because it's like a signed binary for like a privesc. That was kind of my first thought when I saw this little DLL. Or they're just reusing the names, right? Like, or it's just to like look normal. Mm. But does yeah actually does MCS.cvt get referenced in MC init MISP alert? Hold on. Okay, what was this one? Copy that. C. Okay, was it CV? Yeah, it was CVT, right? MCS at CVT. I feel like this is not a McAfee name at all, and they just did that as like camouflage. I mean, maybe, but like make update, make alt lib. Um, hmm. MC alt lib.dll, right? No, no, I wanted I wanted what I wanted. So this says it's signed by McAfee by VeriSign. Is this actually a signed file though? Good evening, Valgrind. Jordan is pretending he knows anything at all about malware analysis. So feel free to come and enjoy the entertainment of the evening. Uh so if I want to validate this, but like no, this hold on. I'm pretty sure like Windows signing, actually, what's a good example? Do I have a copy? Because Binjo, we do sign our executables. So I could open the um I could open the a Binjo executable as the header just to see what it looks like when it's signed because I don't actually know. This I could probably run like one of those like PE file summary things to look for. I feel like this is not signed. This header just isn't big enough. And then it's just like a bunch of code. Yeah, like also what? Wait, what? That's bogus. That is 100% bogus. What is this? No, they're just stealing names. They're just stealing names. This is not real. Maybe, but like this website claims MCL lib is digitally signed. If I could trust this thing, right? So this claims it's a signed file. Actually, the other question is we could do that. So let's actually go back to triage summary. Let's, fun fact, you can come up here to the hash and just click it to copy it. And once on any run, do they say malicious activity? No, this is not a McAfee thing. They're just stealing names and strings and trying to like camouflage. Like those function names were bogus. I refuse to believe. Yeah, I don't think this is real. I think they're just like using it as camouflage. Um and yeah, we had that. What was that one function? Was it just this? Yeah, the only thing that like that has all the real code, like that one function here. Um linear high level IL, where we go, is this thing, this bogus one. All the ones with these McAfee symbols are literally just like a hard code return 1 2 3 4. They're complete bogus functions. The only real thing is here. This is just straight malware. Okay, I've convinced myself anyways. This is just, oh, thank you, Robert. Data directory security, I missed that before. You were saying, right, for the signing. So we could actually go back up data directory security, but like again, it's not there, right? Unless I missed it when I was slowing. uh Actually, here I can just do find. I think I typed security for text, and text in this view, we'll just search here. Really, this has the word security in it. Yeah, it does. So we went all the way through the header. There is no mention of security in the header. This is not a signed file. All right, yeah, I think I've convinced myself. I don't have to convince anybody else. If y'all don't believe me, that's fine. I'm pretty sure this is just straight malware. Just a little stub loader, and it's using the file names from McAfee's thing as cover. It's cute that it even has these like bogus function names when there's really only one function in this entire binary. And we're clearly going to load in this, so the MCS file. So what is this MCS thing? Yeah, and this DLL is tiny. Why would you even have... yeah. Yeah, this just doesn't feel like a thing that you would need to put into a DLL. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Hey, the memset code's working. Let's take a look at this. 0, push, 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 push. Yeah, that's cool. That's great. It's just zeroing out a stack structure. And sure enough, we see that in the new like simplification code. I wonder what, let's see. Let's look what would well, actually no, I have stable installed. That'll be easier. Binary Ninja 3.3. Let's go see what this would have looked like beforehand. I'm gonna look at that particular function just for kicks. Yeah, you don't see it at all. It just zeroes it out. Like this stuff here. Well, and this stuff here rather is where it's zeroing out the stack. And now you get this. Built-in memset, create file mapping. No, yeah, you just get like a null pointer. You missed it, so I think that's a little bit cleaner. All right. Okay, let's go back to, yeah, let's look at mcs.exe now. Yeah, I mean it looks like it looks like a DLL. Like it actually does it does have an export, right? Yeah. Oh, that's weird though. It literally only exports those bogus functions. That's really, none of the exports do this. So like, yeah, how is this actually triggered? It's a good question. Is something else gonna just map it into memory? Oh, interesting. MixSync has a PDB? What? Okay. So this thing loaded some PDBs. So this thing used wait, where what? What loaded a PDB? Huh. So somewhere this file itself has the hash of a thing called mxsync, mcsync. Yeah, yeah. So let's look and see if it does a load library here. What we got? And by the way, look at this. We can just look directly here. Ooh, here's a load library on a. Okay, nope. PS API. Actually, what's that? Hold on, I went too fast there. No, it's yeah. Oh, and again, built-in str copy. Beautiful stack string being reassembled for us. Love it. Look at that. Encrypt32. This one though is different. This is not the stack string thing. What is this function? Don't care. Let's skip that. Okay. Library A though on encrypt32. Let's go back to the other. What are the other? Load library A. There was also load library. Actually, here, just do this way. Oh, do I have to turn on? I thought reset filters. Hold on. You normally don't you see the imports here? Is it case sensitive? Load. What am I missing? I feel like I should be seeing the imports. Uh-oh. Hopefully this is not a bug in the new symbol. What do we call it? Components. Let's turn that off. Let's listen, malware authors are like economically incentivized to put the bare minimum amount of effort. Yeah, okay, that's a straight bug. There is something missing. All right, so hexac location, show cursor. It's the old one. What time is it, man? I'm just having a good old time here today. Okay. The components they were missing imports. Missing some imports because I saw some of them on there. And which file is missing some imports for mcs.exe as an example load library. All right. Okay, so I keep channeling my inner Sergey. Get rid of my hair. Gotta stay focused. I don't think there was. Well, yeah, I thought I reset it. Oh, maybe just the defaults are different. Good question. Let's try it. I would be more than happy to be wrong. Me being wrong is better than there being a bug we have to go fix. Okay. So, yeah, show imports is checked, right? And I see these yellow color, these color mean that's an import. But like what? Why is it only showing 4 of them? Like when I checked, no, I think this is a bug. There are clearly a lot of imports. There's a lot of imports in this binary. Unless, well, it's still analyzing. Maybe, there we go. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay, hold on. All right, well, now it's done. Load. No, that's a bug. It's a bug. Yes. Oh, and Thomas, also, Peter made a bunch of changes too, where like while analysis is going on, it's way more responsive, even for some files with some fairly large number of symbols and functions and stuff. So significantly more usable, even during analysis. But and fun fact, if you navigate around, the things you are looking at get to the front of the priority queue, so they get analyzed first. even as everything else is happening in the background. So it has a nice little work queue there. Yeah, so okay, no, that's a bug. There is something. This is why it's on dev. This is why it is still off by default, I think, even. Um, create tool help snapshot. Oh, that's not even. Oh, well that mean. Oh, I know what that means. No, that's actually a function. Okay, hold on though. That looks like a function. Create tool help 32 snapshot. No, it's actually in the import table. Several people have worked on several different improvements. Glenn has done a ton of stuff too, but I'm sure I remember. Yeah, I don't remember exactly who did what. I know Peter worked on. Peter was the one because he like we'd had a couple customers who were like, "Hey, things are really like hanging when I do this," and so Peter was narrowing down and finding a couple bugs. He didn't. I don't think he fixed all of them. So Glenn absolutely may have. If he's still watching the stream, he can chime in and take credit as he should. Uh, no, this is I think we got just got a bug here basically with components not showing all imports. I don't yet know why that is. So, but I am sure when Kat is back from vacation, there's like we have made so many things for Kat to deal with. Like we filed all sorts of stuff. It's like careful if you go on vacation, if you go and take a week off and you've just shipped a new feature on dev, we're gonna find some stuff for you to work on. But I am still liking a lot of components. Although I think one thing we're talking about is making like the components and the organization folders are really nice, but maybe you don't want these table stuff. We're still deliberating that. Like maybe there's a separate view in a pane that does that, but then this can just be like the old symbol list except with support for folders, so you can organize. I don't know. We're still trying to figure that out. But anyway, all right, because I would like to get that function back, we are going to disable components. And I need to buy my hotkey so I can restart. Okay, now load library. And I want to look at W. All right, MCUI, ADV API. Now that one's interesting because it doesn't look easy it can't track. Okay, so I don't use this very often, but let's actually, is it Control Shift? Oh wait, hold on, where'd it go? Where was it? Not there. Not there. Here, this one. Control Shift 1. There's a way to set up, oh here, bookmark, Control Alt 1. Okay. Control Alt 1. Yeah, I don't use bookmarks nearly enough because I'm usually not doing longer reversing stuff, but let's a bookmark there and we'll go look at that. This little library also is a little sus. We don't have any things there, so we're gonna make that 2. And then let's go back to, I already got that one. This is the same function, so I'm not worried about tagging that one. So I have 2 locations where, oh, okay. Huh. Interesting. What is this one doing? This one looks small enough. Let's just take a look. Ink deck. It looks like it's just kind of copying out of a structure or something, but then Oh, this looks like a Windows error code, right? This constant looks like it might be some enum. Which, by the way, does this... Okay, nothing in our current type libraries matches that enum, but hooray for that feature. Just for kicks. Yeah, the parameter is incorrect. Right. This just feels like... Okay, so this doesn't feel like Remember the hotkey. Let's just do bookmark. Go to bookmark is just control 1, control 2. Let's shrink back up to disassembly and stick with 2. Yeah, I'm not convinced. Yeah, I don't see it doing. I don't know. It could very well be doing some other stuff. Oh, right. We didn't actually run. Let's run our plugin again. Obfuscation detection. Give me what you got. Let's take a look at what it thinks might be suspicious, and we'll compare that to. Oh yeah, look at this. Oh, okay, there we go. I actually come up with some uncommon instruction sequences. So let's go to the top of this list. What do we think this is uncommon about? That doesn't look, that doesn't look uncommon to me at all. That looks fine. All right, like we're just testing some bit. Yeah. Yeah, inlining functions just to like get better analysis it is indeed a fun trick. Wait, these are all the same thing. It's literally just checking a different bit. Yeah, this is bit test 2, bit test 1. And then, hold on, is it? I need my window wide. Or actually, hold on, I should be in there. That'll be easier. I feel a little aimless because I don't have a particular purpose in this, but it is still just kind of fun poking around. Right, yeah, like we're just literally masking off. This is like just a bit test for particular bits. Right. So then, okay, so I'm not sure about those. An average, I mean, containing a lot of functions, I don't know if that is that suspicious. Oh, wow, 660. Oh, that just means it's a big function though, right? A large basic. Oh, wow, yeah. Okay. All right, yeah, that's super sus. Yeah, that is the plugin definitely doing its job. This is 100% something suspicious here, right? Like a bunch of constants, roles, and again, it looks like code. This looks all like real disassembly, but like the trash that the decompilation is also a pretty good indicator. Like it's just a bunch of math. Okay, so we're gonna name this one. Oh, I keep trying to do this. You can't do it in this top bar. All right, and sus AF. All right. Yeah, I don't. Well, I'm not sure if it's related to alt-lib or not. Interesting. I don't know. I'm just kind of bouncing around looking at weird stuff, right? Like I see a bunch of like compiler normal stuff, HTTP requests. Um. Oh wait, do I have single function view on? Let's turn that junk off. I love being able to scroll through all the functions like a decompiled code. Take that, other RE tools. Um, just to kind of get a sense of like a region of code, right? This is a bunch of just like, okay, yeah. See, we've actually got like, is it Shift A? There we go, Shift A. Shift A, by the way, is a hotkey for wide string, right? So I can really quickly, in fact, you can even just like select a range of things and Shift A them all, and it will just turn them all into wide strings. Although it feels like there's a craft references like this, it should do it. Oh, that's okay. Let's see. Let's navigate back a little bit. See if I can find one of those functions I was at. Yeah. So when I bounced around, I don't remember if it's in my history. Oh, I found it via this one down here, right? I found that via The instruction unusual uncommon sequence. That's where I found them. These functions right here. Okay, so yeah, are they used? Let's see what they're used for. Oh, C++ exception handling? Like, is it doing some stack on money or something maybe? Speaking of which, everybody go read that paper right now. Uh, control handling oriented programming. They clearly backended that. Uh, Glenn, you should. I think Glenn, if you're not a mod, I should. I'll make you one over there. You should paste the link to that. That paper. At speaking of C++ exception handling, that paper is pretty good, very entertaining. All right, all right, all right. I'm getting far afield. I'm supposed to be checking out the plugin. I guess we have been. We've been checking out the plugin. We're just also using it as an excuse to like look at some of these binaries. So let's look at yeah, that large basic blocks. Like that right there, totally worth its weight. This plugin is like absolutely doing its job right there. Because that top one is 100% just clearly some obfuscated like this one's interesting. Or oh yeah, again. Yeah, like look at this. Okay, so what does this function do? Not what I expected. Not gonna lie, I did not expect to see some Windows error handling stuff in here. That is way bigger than I expected. This just felt to me like uh I was gonna see some like little like deobfuscation where you it's literally just gonna XOR like this makes me feel like I would want to try app call or something on it. Um because like just looking at those arguments and the way that was used there, it looks like it's like decrypting like the it's just gonna obfuscate some bytes. Um sub 30 decimal to multiply something by 10, subtract hex 30. Like usually that's like decimal to or ASCII to decimal. I don't know. Compared to this, oh, is this like some hash lookup or something? I don't know. Send highly obfuscated samples to vector 35 for decompiler magic backlog. I will say, high deobfuscation or like highly obfuscated code is hard to look at in a decompiler no matter what you do. We're focusing primarily first on normal code and then we'll take a look at, and making sure you have the tools to manually fix things up, right? Oh, that works. Let me make sure you're an admin, Glenn, by the way. Ooh, you are now a managing moderator, Glenn. I don't know what the difference between that and a standard moderator is, but you should be able to post links now as a as an admin. DOI was a good idea too. Um, wrong hotkey. What are we doing? Okay. All right, so let's go back. As like I said, cyclomatic complexity, I'm not a huge fan of. I don't find it, especially in any given large binary. I don't know. Hold on. This one has like outstanding cyclomatic complexity though. So like, let's see. Is Jordan improperly biased? This is gonna be a lot of basic blocks, right, with a lot of edges between them. Is basically what we're saying when we have high cyclomatic complexity. So yeah, I mean it has those properties. Ooh, and like right again, this is not real helpful here, is it? A lot of go-tos, a lot of oh, I bet you every decom. Let's see, this binary was pretty big, wasn't it? I'm gonna throw this in a dog bolt. Just for oh, if I can, we'll see if dog bolts. Samples, obfuscation, mcs.exe. I don't remember the size. I think it's under. I don't remember if that was too big or not. We'll do that. Let's just turn off Ghidra because that's gonna take. We don't have that much time. We'll do it locally if we want to look at Ghidra. But a 500K sample, good luck. I think I said meg earlier. If I did, that was incorrect. Yeah. I mean, that's a kind of interesting function. I'm curious what this is doing. Not curious enough to actually reverse it, but all right. So I'm gonna say psychomatic complexity is not outrageous. It's maybe a useful measure of finding interesting functions. Is the character, do you think? I wonder. 3DI. I wonder if these are like option parsings. I mean, this just looks like, oh, actually, yeah, I'm kind of surprised the new switch stuff doesn't fix this up. I guess that's pretty nasty. That's pretty nasty. All right, and flattening. Let's see. Flattening means I think we're just any high things with flattening. Although interesting, those are not sorted. It's just high numbers in general. Anything over are gonna look very kind of like long and skinny, I believe, right? Actually, here, this might even be a better way to tell. Or is it? Oh no, we have to click in here first. Right. Kind of long, although that's not long and skinny at all. That's like a big old jump table. Um, or big switch statement. Yeah, this one again also feels like a big switch statement. 1, 2. Let's see if our dog bolt came back with anything. Ooh, Binja. Binja. For shame. Alright, it came back. I don't remember if we have the same. I think we have the same timeouts on them, so Ida did well. Good job on that. So can we look at how they do this function? So let's go. Let's do here equals current function dot start because I'm lazy. There we go. Let's copy that one. And let's go to here. Can I go? There's like a control F. Hold on, let's just turn off Ninja. There we go. Now let's do sub underscore. Well, that bodes ill. Hexer's return probably because it bailed a bunch. It doesn't look like it actually decompiled that function at all. So maybe I shouldn't have given too much credit. Or maybe it's not actually like real code. No, that's real code. Yeah, that's 100% real code. This is a real function that's real code. So I'm curious. Yeah, now I'm curious. Something about this binary caused hexer's to like not even. Hold on. Let me make sure before I. Yeah, so I was just making sure there's no uppercase, lowercase. Control flow flattening. I mean, that was the point of this measure, right? Is that, but it's still like I just should still show. Oh, I just realized. I apologize, y'all. Like my face has been all over the stuff I'm looking at because I'm kind of using the whole width here. Um, did that work? Where's my OBS? Oh, I need to fix that. I have to do this manually. Hold on. Let's turn that off. That's probably easier. Nobody needs to see my face when I'm looking at code in that right one. Actually, you know what I should have done is I should have moved my face. No, because I use XRS where I've got minigraph right now. Yeah, I just need to like when I'm doing this kind of analysis, I really need to run it like 4K with a bigger screen. It feels like we're still debating a lot in how we handle window layouts and get the kind of layouts, yeah, for different workflows. And I think this has been an interesting case where I do find myself resizing things a lot, wishing I had hotkeys. Anyway, um, yeah, I mean, I still expect the function itself to show up, but yeah, I agree. Like this, okay, so what else we got? Let's just pick out some of these other ones. What else do we see? Again, real code, no question. Um, Yeah, there's just a print with an error code, right? There's just some sort of like PS and printf wrapper. Interesting. I mean, this feels like a lot of like library code or stub code. Like that doesn't feel like the actual thing that we're looking at. So okay, so we looked at MCS for a while, probably longer than we should have. We've looked at altlib, and then oh, the CVT. What kind of file was it again? I've forgotten already. Oh wait, oh no, that's right. This one was we looked at stable over here. Let's make sure I'm not using the wrong version. Samples, obfuscation plugin samples, file mcs.cvt. Yeah, I was curious about this one. Okay, what is this file? No, don't map it all. I just want to use it as a hex editor. Let's just see what this file is. Control B, let's hide that sidebar. Let's just look here. Okay, so this is clearly like an encrypted payload, right? Oh yeah, in fact, we saw that. We saw the DLL. This one had a string reference to MCS, right? Yep. So that sub function here, again, I hit Shift A if I want to like inline that, but it really doesn't really matter because it was already being detected as a string argument to there. Oh, good call, Schrodinger. Yeah, that's right. It's just function size. The function was just too big. So it's also why they succeeded in the time. They just kind of bailed earlier on the bigger functions, and so that's why Binary Ninja timed out in the dogbolt example. But maybe we should crank down. Glenn, I'll let you take that note if you want, if you're still watching. That maybe we should turn down our analysis timeouts a little more aggressively on dogbolt just to be able to better, because like normally like we're fine letting your analysis timeouts be a little bit longer when you open on your box, but on dogbolt, because we have a lot of things in the queue, we probably want to actually crank those timeouts down a little more aggressively. I think that's probably wise. And in fact, I think even we're using a I need to do the hash. Actually, do I even have an easy way to get this out? Okay, I don't have an easy way to get you all the hash. Good question. But the fastest way to do it is if you go to the obfuscation detection plugin from Mr. Fraser, Tim. You can pull this up in the Binary Ninja plugin manager. You can go to the samples file. You unzip that, and you're going to get an executable that if you unrar that, if you treat that file that comes out, sorry, the file you actually want in particular is plugx. Yeah, this was, so Glenn, the 2-minute timeout is for the entire analysis, but IDA's smaller limits on the per function decompilation limits in terms of function size and function timeouts meant that they were able to complete successfully on this. Yeah, and I'll totally you know what, actually it would be really trivial to have a Binja plugin like running in my session that could connect to a bot, and like literally whatever binary I'm focused on, the second that request came through, it could shuffle back the right. So plug X is the binary, and then you unrar X that file. I just renamed it just to keep track of which was which, and then you're going to get out of it. I'm looking at these 3 files in here right now. So I've been looking at these 3 lately. So what is Sogu? Schrodinger, I appreciate this because again, I'm not a malware analyst. So I'm the hash is visible in triage view, but you can, so let me see, let's not the CVT. Oh, we could do it on that one too, I think. Yeah, we can still get triage summary and get the hashes here. So hashes are available here. But like, so let's make altlib, for example. I don't think we expose the SHA-256 directly. But there's the transform APIs, which have an example that literally do exactly that. Like right here. This is the code. So SHA-256 equals transform. You can do it inside of Binja this way. Raw hex equals transform raw hex. And then you can do raw, I gotta scroll up again, that's why I did the one-liner. raw hex.encode SHA-256 dot encode, and then bv.read, or actually you can do bv. This is kind of a fun trick. Bv colon bracket. I think that's so you can do like Python array slicing, and I think if you just do that, it's like read me all the bytes in the view. Let's see if that matches what we see in triage view. It does not. Oh, hold on. Bv dot parent view. Yeah, there we go. Right. So that's a fun little one-liner to be able to get you like the SHA-256 hash. It's not actually. I don't think there's a way. I don't think we store that data anywhere in the. I think the only thing we're going to find is the transform. Yeah, module. Right. So yeah, that's basically what so there's no built-in. There's no like built-in like just give me the current hash of this binary, but it's so trivial to do as a plugin. But like it would be interesting to like have a bot wired up from like stream elements or whatever that I could run a plugin here that would like wait for requests of whatever I was looking at, and then just automatically like run this exact command and shuffle the bytes back out. So I think I'm kind of gonna wrap up the stream. This has been a little longer. I've got a ride home in the dark here potentially, but it's been a nice weather today on the unicycle. Let me look back. Let's look back at our list. Let's see, what do we have? We reviewed the plugin. Oh yeah, man, I didn't do several things. Okay, well let me at least talk about these other ones, and then y'all can tell me which one you're most interested in for next week. Which again, if we keep on this every week, then we're going to get through them all pretty quickly. So the other two things, but I have really enjoyed this. I've enjoyed actually just doing a little more RE and showing off some stuff and like workflows and learning a little bit about these things too. So I thought that was a good use of time. This one, the idea is that the Kappa plugin, if you're familiar with that from Mandiant, has this particular so this is like a really useful plugin for analyzing binaries and pulling out a whole bunch of like features of like things it can do, and it has its own query language and all sorts of like nice stuff where you can add your own queries and get information out of it, like what it does. And there's two things that so Shusheng, who's been on stream several times, is working on this. So one, he's adding Binja as a backend, so that you can use, I think they support IDA, and is this the one that supports Vivisect? I think they support Vivisect as a backend. I forget exactly. But Shusheng has been working to get them as a backend. So the idea is that they would just use the Binja API to extract all the features, and then you would get like this same command line interface that they demonstrate here, where like you could analyze, pull out a file, but use Binja for your analysis instead of Vivisect, which is currently what they use, I think, for the headless stuff. Except I would say I think I really trust our analysis better than Vivisect at this point. Vivisect was just better for like scripting automation for them. And don't get me wrong, Vivi and Atlas, I'm very good friends with both of them. I like the authors of Vivisect quite a lot, and it's got some nice things, but I think our analysis is pretty good at this point especially, so I think it would kind of compare. Shulkametro, yeah, thanks for stopping in. It was good to see you. Hopefully we'll be back next week as well. SMD, oh, interesting. Cool. Yeah, I'm not sure what other library. Yeah, Vivisect makes sense because it's kind of scriptable and it's Python. So if you're already in Python, it's like it's got some stuff going for it. But like I said, I put up our actual analysis against kind of any of these things. Although if you were going to kind of do it, you would want to like carefully like if you're just using a Vivisect, you're not decompiling. You want things like basic block boundaries and some features and things like that. So you don't necessarily want the full decompilation. Although I think when Shusheng was telling me he was working on this, he mentioned that like he does use our medium level IL for some of these features because there were things that were just easier to API against, where like you're getting strings and functions, and doing it, for example, at the MLIL layer means all of those new like stack strings. Vivisect, as far as I know, I'm pretty confident doesn't identify stack strings to pull. Actually, that's not true. I'm not confident. It might do that, but I don't think so. My guess is it doesn't. That'd be cool, but that usually requires kind of a higher level of analysis. And so I think, like, for example, our new synthetic stack strings, they just show up in the text, and if you walk the IL at the medium level IL, you can get like these strings out. Here's the other thing, is the Kappa Explorer. That's the other one we'd like to get working with Binary Ninja too. And so right now it's just, but most of this code is actually just Qt code, which would work, right? So it's just transitioning some of the like IDA specific stuff to Binja, and then hopefully this will also be like out the box working with Binja as well, to analyze the results and pull them in to make it easier to kind of navigate around. But like I said, I think we're already pretty close to getting that in there. One of the things that, the thing that they mentioned, though, is you'll notice they have their CI, and they wanted to be able to do automated regression testing, which I wholeheartedly support, because I think that's super important for robust code, right? Is that when you make a change to your analysis, you want to see if your results ever differ. We've got a lot of that with Binary Ninja itself. We've got several flavors now, even of like other extended tests, some that happen every time you commit, some that happen at like a periodic interval. And you want to make sure as much as possible you're consciously aware if you make changes to your analysis, and then eyeball it and be like, is this actually better? Before you then make that the sort of new standard. So anyway, I really like that. And so if we look here, they have GitHub Actions, right? You can see they do a bunch of actions automatically. And so you can see they've got some of them in here. What I wanted to demonstrate, in fact, I built like the keys to do it, is, oh, Robert, that's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea. We've been talking about, I need to get that off the ground. That's one of my goals for next week, hopefully, is to announce more full details on our like summer paid plugin bounty kind of thing, which instead of like a normal summer internship, we're doing just like more people, less money per person, less like full time, and more just like, hey, build a little plugin that does this, and we'll pay you for it over the summer, and like pay you for it, but also just it's an open source plugin, right? We're just paying people to work on open source stuff. So that's kind of the plan. We haven't figured out specifics. We got to figure those things, but that is a good suggestion. So on the list it goes. Although, let's see, maybe, yeah. So Kappa Explorer, maybe it's a good candidate. Although I think it's kind of already in progress. That one maybe actually end up not being a good one, because Xusheng has kind of been working and talking to the Mandiant folks that are working on it. Anyway, all this to say, their CI, right, if it's going to use Binary Ninja on the back end, would need to be able to use Binary Ninja. And so we're like, yeah, absolutely. We're going to give them like a dedicated headless license. And then what you can do is like, we've got, so I'm going to take the Binary Ninja sample plugin. So we'll put this as a teaser for next week. I'm going to take the sample plugin and I'm going to make it have like some sort of like CI action. It's going to go ahead and take some, like every time I commit to this plugin, it's going to like just run some simple test. It's just going to load Binary Ninja, open some file with Binary Ninja, and then load the plugin and make sure the plugin does its thing. Right? We're just going to, it'll not be really fancy and complicated, but the point is you can put your license file and a serial number into GitHub secrets so that the plugin is 100% open source, but like the sensitive stuff lives in the plugin, and there'll be a script that will download from our servers. In fact, there's already a script. So if you're interested in getting a head start on this, and this kind of thing is something you could benefit from, reach out to me and let me know if you've got a plugin that would do CI, that would like a free sponsored commercial headless license. Scripts. You'll notice there's already this download headless, right? So you give it the serial number, it will download it, it will like build a quick Docker, it'll like run in whatever tests it wants. Now the rule is like this is only for like CI, automated CI on GitHub for like a plugin that's on Binary Ninja. That's the only rules of it. But when we were talking about the Kappa folks, I was like, oh yeah, anybody else that has a Binary Ninja plugin that could use this as some automated testing, we'd be happy to like support that use case. So oh yeah, you can already do that with Binja, and there are actually some companies that have headless licenses doing that. There have been a number of companies over the years that have bought like headless Binja licenses, and they use this. This script was originally written for somebody doing some automated analysis where they had like Docker, and it they want to be able to load either latest stable or latest dev and like automatically kind of push that out. So okay, my wife is calling. That's the real hint. I gotta go. Oh, I haven't even been seeing me. It's okay. You didn't miss anything. My wife's calling. We got family stuff tonight. Sorry for a quick abrupt ending, but good to see everybody. We'll catch you next week and take care.